How many hours do we all have in a day? That's right, 24. The same 24 hours given to Lincoln. The same 24 hours given to Edison. The same 24 hours given to Mother Teresa. The same 24 hours given to the winners. And, yes, the same 24 hours given to the losers. Time is the great equalizer of human beings. But here's the difference. Some people spend their time and others invest it. And that difference, that fundamental difference in philosophy, will determine the quality of your life more than anything else you do. The philosophy of time. You must have a philosophy of time before you have a strategy for using it. Let me share some fundamentals. First, understand that time is both precious and scarce. You can't save it. You can only spend it or invest it. If someone invented a bank that credited your account each morning with $86,400, carried over no balance, and every evening deleted whatever amount you failed to use, what would you do? You'd withdraw every cent, wouldn't you? Well, time gives you exactly 86,400 seconds every day. And whatever you haven't invested wisely is gone forever. No overdrafts, no borrowing against tomorrow. You can't save it up like money. Second, realize that your time management reveals your values. Show me your calendar and I'll show you your priorities. Most people say family is important, but their calendar says work. Most people say health is a priority, but their calendar says television. Most people say personal development matters, but their schedule reveals entertainment. Don't tell me what you value. Show me how you spend your time and I'll tell you what you value. That's the philosophy of time that you must understand before we go any further. The enemies of time. Now, let's look at what steals your time. I call these the enemies of time. And you must identify them before you can defeat them. The first enemy is lack of purpose. When you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. People without clear purpose drift through life, responding to whatever feels urgent in the moment. They major in minor things. They climb ladders leaning against the wrong wall. I once asked a young man, "What are you doing with your life?" He said, "Well, I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens." I told him, "I can tell you exactly what will happen, nothing. Life doesn't happen to you, it responds to you." Time management begins with purpose. The second enemy is the inability to say no. Listen carefully. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something vital. Some of you are drowning in commitments that don't serve your purpose. You're busy certainly, but busy doing what? I have a friend who complains constantly about not having time for his goals. But when I examined his schedule, I found 27 hours of television every week. That's not a time problem, that's a decision problem. The third enemy is procrastination, putting off what matters, postponing the difficult. Procrastination is making a withdrawal from your future to pay for your present comfort. It's the thief of dreams. It's the slayer of potential. Here's a truth. It's better to complete an imperfect plan today than a perfect plan next week. Time respects action, not intention. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that you have more time than you actually do. The fourth enemy is interruptions. Studies show the average person is interrupted every 8 minutes during their workday. And it takes an average of 23 minutes to get back to the task with full concentration. That's staggering when you think about it. Your smartphone alone, that marvelous device that connects you to the world, can consume 3 to 4 hours of your day in small, almost unnoticeable increments. Those little dings, those notifications, those quick checks, they're assassins of your productivity. The fifth enemy is the inability to delegate. Some of you are trying to do everything yourselves. You're mowing your own lawn when you could be planning your future. You're doing $10 per hour tasks when you should be focused on $1,000 per hour activities. This isn't noble, it's foolish. The last enemy, and perhaps the most dangerous, is the illusion of someday. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll write that book. Someday I'll rebuild that relationship. Let me tell you something powerful. There are 7 days in a week, and someday isn't one of them. The principles of wise time investment. Now, let's talk about how to invest your time wisely. I'm going to give you principles, not just techniques, but principles. Techniques come and go, but principles are timeless. Principle number 1, invest your time according to your values. Make your calendar reflect what you claim to care about. If family matters, schedule family time first. If health is important, block out your exercise as if it were a $1 million appointment, because in terms of longevity it is. You see, your schedule is a series of choices about your life's direction, not just a list of appointments. When you schedule with your values first, everything else arranges itself properly. Principle number 2, distinguish between urgent and important. This is critical. Urgent things demand immediate attention. Important things contribute to your mission, values, and high priority goals. The phone rings, that's urgent. Planning your life, that's important. Most people spend their days responding to urgency rather than focusing on importance. And that's why they never get ahead. They're constantly putting out fires instead of fireproofing their house. Here's a life-changing exercise. Divide a sheet of paper into 4 quadrants. Label them. Urgent and important. Important but not urgent. Urgent but not important. Neither urgent nor important. Now, track where you spend your time for 1 week. I guarantee you'll be shocked. Most people spend less than 20% of their time in quadrant 2, the important but not urgent activities that truly advance their lives. That's where your greatest return on investment lies. Principle number 3, begin with the end in mind. Before you start your day, your week, your month, or even your life, visualize the outcome you want. What does success look like? What are you trying to accomplish? Then work backward. I tell my business clients to imagine it's December 31st. What 3 achievements would make this your best year ever? Now, what must happen each quarter to make those achievements possible? Each month, each week, each day. This kind of thinking transforms your relationship with time. Principle number 4, focus on high-value activities. Not all hours are created equal. Some activities return 10x, 100x, or even 100x your time investment. Identify those activities and prioritize them ruthlessly. For a salesperson, it might be prospecting. For a writer, it might be creating content. For a leader, it might be developing your team. Whatever your role, there are a handful of activities that deliver the majority of your results. The Pareto principle says 20% of your activities produce 80% of your results. Find that 20% and double down on it. Cut or delegate the rest. Principle number 5, master the skill of batching. Your brain isn't designed for constant switching between tasks. When you hop from email to phone call to report to meeting, you lose tremendous mental energy in the transitions. Instead, batch similar activities together. Set specific times for checking email rather than responding to every ping. Schedule blocks for phone calls. Create uninterrupted periods for deep work. You'll be amazed at how much more you accomplish. Principle number 6, learn the power of no. Say it with me, no. One more time, no. It might be the most powerful time management word in existence. Warren Buffett said, the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. Everything you say yes to is saying no to something else. Choose wisely. I'm not suggesting you become disagreeable. I'm suggesting you become selective. No is not just a word, it's a complete sentence. And sometimes it's the most self-respecting sentence you can utter. The disciplines of time mastery. Now, knowing these principles isn't enough. You must develop disciplines, daily practices that translate knowledge into results. Let me share the disciplines of time mastery with you. The first discipline is planning. Take time to plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Spend 10 to 15 minutes each evening planning the next day. Spend 30 minutes each weekend planning your week. The minute you spend in planning saves 10 minutes in execution. Planning isn't just about what to do, it's about what not to do. It's about creating space for what matters most. A good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. The second discipline is prioritization. You can't do everything, but you can do the most important things. I use what I call the Big 6, identifying the 6 most important tasks for tomorrow and ranking them in order of importance. Why 6? Because 6 substantial achievements each day equals 30 each week, 120 each month, and over 1,400 high-value accomplishments each year. Small daily disciplines compounded over time produce massive results. The third discipline is focus. Once you've identified what matters, give it your complete attention. In our distracted world, the ability to focus deeply is becoming a superpower. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs on your computer. Create an environment that supports concentration. Work in 90-minute blocks, which align with your body's natural rhythm, then take short breaks. The fourth discipline is energy management. Your time is only as valuable as the energy you bring to it. 1 hour of focused, high-energy work is worth 3 hours of low-energy effort. Protect your energy through proper sleep, nutrition, exercise, and stress management. Learn your peak performance times and schedule your most demanding work accordingly. I'm a morning person. My best thinking happens before noon. I reserve those hours for my most creative and challenging tasks. The fifth discipline is tracking. What gets measured gets improved. Track how you spend your time for at least 1 week. You'll be shocked at the gap between your perception and reality. Use a simple journal or one of the many digital apps available. The point isn't the tool, it's the awareness. Peter Drucker said, "What gets measured gets managed. Your time is no exception." The sixth discipline is reflection. Take time regularly to evaluate your time investments. At the end of each day, ask, did I spend my time according to my highest values and priorities today? What worked? What didn't? What adjustments should I make tomorrow? Weekly, monthly, and yearly reflections deepen this practice. Without reflection, you're likely to repeat the same time management mistakes indefinitely. The seasons of time. Now let me share something profound about time that few people understand. Time comes in seasons. Just as nature has spring, summer, fall, and winter, your life and work have natural seasons that you must recognize and respect. There are seasons of preparation when you're learning, training, and developing. Don't rush these seasons. They build the foundation for everything that follows. Many people want the harvest without the planting, the victory without the battle, the reward without the work. It doesn't happen that way. There are seasons of planting when you're starting projects, launching initiatives, and taking risks. These seasons require courage and faith. You're investing time with no immediate return. That's why most people avoid them. There are seasons of cultivation when you're nurturing what you've planted, solving problems, overcoming obstacles. These seasons require patience and persistence. The Chinese bamboo tree shows no growth for 4 years while developing its root system underground. Then, in the 5th year, it grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. Most people quit during the cultivation season because they can't see progress. There are seasons of harvest when you're reaping the benefits of your time investments. These are seasons of abundance and fulfillment. But remember, the size of your harvest depends on what you did in the previous seasons. Finally, there are seasons of rest and renewal when you recharge your batteries and prepare for the next cycle. These seasons aren't optional, they're essential. Even the most productive people need time to rest, reflect, and renew. The wise time investor recognizes these seasons and works with them, not against them. You cannot harvest in the planting season and you cannot plant in the winter. Understanding the season you're in prevents frustration and maximizes productivity. Time and relationships. Let's talk about one of the most important investments of your time, relationships. Some of you are so busy making a living that you've forgotten to make a life. You're succeeding in your career but failing with the people who matter most. Jim Rohn, that's me, famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Think about that. Your income, health, attitudes, and habits will mirror those of your closest associates. Are you investing time with people who pull you up or push you down? Who expand your thinking or limit it? Who encourage your dreams or diminish them? These are crucial questions because your relationships determine your direction. Beyond the influence factor, there's the simple truth that relationships require time. Love is spelled T-M-I-M-E. You cannot build meaningful connections in the margins of life. I know busy executives who schedule time with their children with the same commitment they give to their biggest clients. I know successful entrepreneurs who protect their date nights with the same vigor they protect their business meetings. These people understand that no achievement compensates for failure at home. Here's a sobering thought. At the end of your life, you won't wish you'd spent more time at the office. You'll wish for more time with the people you love. Invest accordingly. Time and personal development. Now let's discuss what might be the highest return on your time investment, personal development. Most people work harder on their job than they do on themselves. But if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. The best investment I ever made wasn't in stocks or real estate. It was the time I invested in developing myself, reading books, attending seminars, seeking mentorship, practicing new skills. These investments compounded over decades, creating opportunities I couldn't have imagined. Here's a question to ponder. If you keep growing and developing at your current rate, where will you be 5 years from now? 10 years? 20 years? The answer depends on your daily time investments in yourself. I recommend investing at least 30 minutes every day in personal development. Read, listen, study, practice. The greatest gap in life is the knowledge gap. And that gap can only be filled with dedicated time. Think about it. 1 book per month equals 12 books per year, which is more than most Americans read in a decade. 30 minutes of daily study equals 182 hours per year, the equivalent of 4 college courses. These small-time investments yield enormous dividends. Time and wealth creation. Many of you are interested in financial success. Let me tell you something important. Wealth is directly connected to how you invest your time. The poor and the middle class trade time for money in a linear fashion. They work an hour, they get paid for an hour. When they stop working, they stop earning. This is a losing proposition because you only have so many hours. The wealthy invest time in building assets that generate income without their direct involvement. They spend time creating systems, developing products, building businesses, and making investments that pay them repeatedly for work they do once. Robert Kiyosaki calls it the difference between working for money and having money work for you. It's a profound distinction. Here's the formula. Identify your highest value skills. Invest time mastering those skills. Apply those skills to create scalable income sources. Reinvest the proceeds to buy your time back. Repeat. This approach requires delaying gratification. You might work 80 hours a week building a business so that eventually you can work 0 hours and still receive income. That's the smart trade. Remember, your most valuable financial asset isn't in your portfolio, it's your earning ability. And that ability grows in direct proportion to your investment of time in developing marketable skills. The time multipliers. Now, let me share what I call the time multipliers. Strategies that effectively give you more than 24 hours in a day. The first multiplier is delegation. When you delegate a 3-hour task to someone else, you've just created 3 hours in your day. But effective delegation isn't just dumping work on others. It's systematically transferring tasks to the lowest paid person who can complete them competently. Start by listing everything you do, then ask, is this the highest and best use of my time? If not, train someone else to do it. Yes, training takes time initially, but it pays enormous dividends. The second multiplier is automation. We live in an extraordinary age where technology can perform many routine tasks. Email autoresponders, schedule social media posts, automated bill payments. These tools free your time for higher value activities. Look at every repetitive task in your life and ask, can this be automated? You'll be surprised at the possibilities. The third multiplier is elimination. This is the most powerful multiplier of all. Ask, what can I simply stop doing with little or no negative consequence? Most people's lives are cluttered with activities that don't serve their highest goals or values. Identify them, eliminate them, no explanation, no apology, just stop. Peter Drucker suggested this powerful question, what am I doing that doesn't need to be done at all? Answer honestly and you'll find hours hiding in plain sight. The fourth multiplier is concentration. When you focus intensely on one important task, you can accomplish in an hour what might take someone else 3 or 4 hours of distracted effort. Concentration doesn't create more time, but it makes each minute more productive. The fifth multiplier is education. The right knowledge can save you enormous time. I've watched people struggle for hours with tasks that someone with the right training could complete in minutes. The time you invest in learning relevant skills returns to you multiplied. The rhythm of productivity. Let's talk about the natural rhythms of productivity. Your body operates on cycles called circadian rhythms, and your energy, focus, and creativity fluctuate throughout the day according to these rhythms. The key to maximum productivity is aligning your most important work with your peak energy periods. For most people, this peak occurs in the morning, with a smaller peak in the early evening and a significant trough in the mid-afternoon. Don't fight these rhythms, leverage them. Schedule your most demanding, creative, and important tasks during your peak hours. Save routine, administrative, and less demanding tasks for your low-energy periods. Also, work in focused blocks of time rather than fragmented segments. The Pomodoro technique suggests 25 minutes of focused work followed by a 5-minute break. Others find that 90-minute blocks align with their natural attention cycles. Find your rhythm and honor it. This alignment can double or triple your productive output without working additional hours. The power of routines. One of the most effective time management strategies is establishing powerful routines. Routines eliminate decision fatigue and create momentum. Consider your morning routine. The first hour of your day often determines the quality of the remaining hours. Yet many people begin their days reactively, checking email, responding to texts, scrolling through social media, surrendering their most valuable time to other people's priorities. Instead, design a morning routine that centers you, energizes you, and focuses you on what matters most. Perhaps it includes meditation, exercise, reading, planning, or working on your most important project before the day's distractions begin. Equally important is your evening routine. The last hour before sleep influences your rest quality and prepares you for the next day. Create a routine that helps you wind down, reflect on accomplishments, and set priorities for tomorrow. Between these bookends, establish routines for your workday, specific times for checking email, returning calls, holding meetings, and engaging in deep work. The more you routinize the predictable aspects of your day, the more mental energy you preserve for creative and strategic thinking. The urgency addiction? Many people suffer from what Stephen Covey called the urgency addiction, a dependence on the adrenaline rush that comes from handling crises and last-minute demands. They become addicted to the feeling of importance that comes from putting out fires. This addiction leads to a reactive lifestyle where the truly important but non-urgent activities like relationship building, personal development, preventive maintenance, and long-term planning get perpetually postponed. Breaking this addiction requires courage. You must be willing to let some urgent but unimportant matters go unaddressed while you focus on activities that don't scream for attention but truly matter. It's like the story of two lumberjacks. One worked nonstop, priding himself on never taking a break. The other stopped periodically to sharpen his axe. Guess who cut more trees? The urgent addicted person is the first lumberjack, busy but ineffective. The wise time investor is the second, strategic and productive. The technology paradox. We live in an age of unprecedented technological convenience. Tools that promise to save time surround us. Yet many people feel more time-starved than ever. This is the technology paradox. Your smartphone, designed to make communication efficient, can become a digital leash that interrupts your focus 150 times a day. Your email, meant to speed information exchange, can become a never-ending obligation that consumes hours daily. Social media, created to connect people efficiently, can become a bottomless pit of distraction. The solution isn't rejecting technology, but mastering it. Set boundaries, turn off notifications. Establish specific times for checking digital communications. Use technology as a tool rather than letting it use you. Remember this principle: just because you can be reached doesn't mean you should be accessible. Your time is valuable, and technology should serve that value, not diminish it. The balance myth? Let me address a popular misconception, the myth of perfect work-life balance. This idea that every day should be a perfect equilibrium between work, family, health, spirituality, and recreation is not only unrealistic, it's counterproductive. Life moves in seasons, remember. There will be periods when your business or career demands intense focus. There will be seasons when family needs take precedence. There will be times when your health requires primary attention. The key isn't perfect daily balance, but intentional imbalance, consciously choosing where to focus your time according to your current season, while ensuring that over the broader span of your life, you're investing in all dimensions that matter. Rather than balance, seek integration. Find ways to blend priorities when possible. Exercise with your spouse. Listen to educational content during your commute. Include your children in appropriate aspects of your work. Teach what you're learning to someone else. These integration strategies multiply the value of your time. The cost of indecision. Here's something few people recognize: indecision is enormously expensive. When you postpone decisions, you create a backlog of unresolved situations that consume mental energy and create stress. Many people waste hours, even days, in the gray zone of indecision. Should I accept this opportunity or not? Should I hire this person or not? Should I pursue this direction or not? This uncertainty drains your mental resources and prevents forward movement. Develop the habit of timely decision making. Gather sufficient information, consider the alternatives, then decide. Not deciding is itself a decision, usually the worst one. For minor decisions, use this rule: if the consequences of being wrong are small, decide quickly and move on. Save your deliberation time for truly consequential choices. The financial value of time. Let's be practical for a moment. What is an hour of your time actually worth? Most people have never calculated this, but it's a revealing exercise. Take your desired annual income and divide it by 2,000, the approximate number of working hours in a year. That gives you your target hourly rate. Now examine how you spend your time against this standard. Are you engaging in activities worth your hourly rate? If your time is worth $100 per hour, does it make sense to spend 3 hours washing your car when you could pay someone $20 to do it? This isn't about being too important for certain tasks. It's about mathematical reality. When you do work that could be done by someone at a lower hourly rate, you're effectively taking a pay cut. The wealthy understand this principle intuitively. They constantly ask, is this the highest and best use of my time right now? If not, they delegate, automate, or eliminate. the opportunity cost of time. Beyond direct financial calculations lies the concept of opportunity cost, what you give up when you choose one-time investment over another. Every hour spent watching television could have been invested in reading, learning a skill, building a business, or deepening a relationship. Every minute spent complaining could have been used for planning or taking action. Every day spent working for someone else's dream could have been directed toward building your own. This isn't meant to induce guilt but awareness. The true cost of how you spend your time isn't measured by what you do but by what you could have done instead. When you truly understand opportunity cost, you begin making decisions differently. You recognize that saying no to good opportunities opens space for great ones. You see that free time isn't actually free if it prevents you from investing in higher return activities. The time legacy. Let's conclude with a profound thought. You're creating your time legacy every day. The way you invest your hours doesn't just determine your present, it shapes your future and leaves an imprint beyond your life. When you invest time in developing yourself, you create capabilities that serve you for decades. When you invest time in meaningful relationships, you build connections that sustain you through difficulties. When you invest time in creating value for others, you establish a positive reputation that opens doors. Conversely, when you waste time on meaningless activities, you forfeit future opportunities. When you misuse time in destructive behaviors, you create problems that consume even more time later. When you kill time with mindless distractions, you lose pieces of your life that can never be recovered. I encourage you to think of your time choices in terms of legacy. How will the ways you spend your hours today influence your life 1 year from now? 5 years from now? At the end of your life, what time investments will continue bearing fruit even after you're gone? Few people think this way, but those who do achieve extraordinary things, they plant trees they'll never sit under. They build businesses that outlast them. They develop people who carry their influence forward. They create positive ripple effects that continue expanding. The transformation challenge. Now I want to issue a challenge. For the next 30 days, commit to transforming your relationship with time. Here's what I want you to do. First, clarify your values and major life goals. What truly matters to you? What do you want to achieve in your lifetime? What kind of person do you want to become? Write these down and review them daily. Second, analyze your current time investments. Track every hour for 1 week, categorizing your activities as quadrant 1, urgent and important, quadrant 2, important but not urgent, quadrant 3, urgent but not important, quadrant 4, neither urgent nor important. Third, identify your high leverage activities, the 20% of tasks that produce 80% of your results, and commit to doubling the time you spend on them. Fourth, establish morning and evening routines that align with your highest values and goals. These routines will become the bookends that protect your day from drift. Fifth, practice ruthless elimination of low-value activities. What can you stop doing immediately? What can you delegate? What can you simplify or streamline? Sixth, invest at least 30 minutes daily in personal development. Read, listen, study, practice. This investment will compound magnificently over time. Seventh, protect time for key relationships. Schedule it in advance and honor these appointments as you would your most important business commitments. After 30 days of this discipline, evaluate the results. I promise you'll be amazed at the transformation in your productivity, your sense of purpose, and your overall life satisfaction. Final thoughts. As we close our time together, remember this: the way you spend your time is a statement about what you value. It reveals your true priorities more accurately than your words ever could. Your time is your life in its most fundamental form. When you give your time to something or someone, you're giving a portion of your life that you can never get back. That's why time management isn't really about managing time, it's about managing yourself in relation to time. The great news is that while you can't control time itself, you have complete control over how you invest it. That choice, that fundamental choice about where your hours go, will shape your achievements, your relationships, your legacy, and your satisfaction more than any other factor in your life. I encourage you to make this choice consciously. Don't drift through your days responding to whatever seems urgent. Don't surrender your precious hours to other people's priorities. Don't waste your limited time on this earth on activities that don't serve your highest purpose. Instead, invest your time as carefully as you would invest your money, perhaps even more carefully, because while you can always earn more money, you can never earn more time. Start today. Start now, because remember, the clock is ticking for all of us. The only difference is what we choose to do with each tick. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Go out there and invest your time wisely. Key principles to remember. Before you leave today, let me summarize the key principles we've discussed. Time is your most valuable asset. Treat it accordingly. Your schedule reveals your true priorities. Make it reflect your stated values. Distinguish between urgent and important. Focus on the important. Identify and overcome the enemies of time, especially procrastination and distraction. Work according to your natural rhythms. Align tasks with energy levels. Establish powerful routines. Eliminate decision fatigue. Practice the disciplines of planning, prioritization, and reflection. Invest in high-return activities, personal development and relationship building. Use the time multipliers, delegation, automation, elimination, concentration, and education. Think in terms of legacy, how your time investments today shape your tomorrow. Remember, it's not about managing time, it's about managing yourself. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. I wish you extraordinary success in your journey toward more meaningful and productive time investments. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today by investing their time wisely. Be one of those rare individuals. Implementation framework. Let me share one final tool before we part ways. This is my implementation framework for transforming your relationship with time. Step 1, assessment. Track your time for 1 full week. Identify your high leverage activities. Recognize your time wasting patterns. Calculate your ideal hourly rate. Determine your peak energy periods. Step 2, vision. Clarify your lifetime goals. Define your core values. Envision your ideal day. Set specific 90-day objectives. Create meaningful metrics for progress. Step 3, design. Establish morning and evening routines. Block time for high leverage activities. Schedule relationship investments. Build in personal development periods. Create boundaries around technology use. Step 4, action. Implement your design for 30 days. Review progress weekly. Make necessary adjustments. Celebrate small wins. Build accountability through sharing your journey. Step 5, mastery. Deepen your disciplines over time. Continuously eliminate low-value activities. Increase delegation and automation. Refine your systems and routines. Teach others what you've learned. This framework isn't complicated, but it requires commitment. The difference between knowing and doing is the difference between failure and success. I don't just learn these principles, I live them. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. But start today, because how you spend your next 24 hours is a microcosm of how you'll spend the rest of your life. Thank you again for your time and attention. It's been an honor to share these ideas with you. Now go make your time count.